Yedrimu Namasara, everyone. You can respond to that. The answer is Namasara. Yedrimu Namasara, everyone. Thank you so much. It's a huge honor to be here. Thank you for that very, very generous and detailed introduction. And Buddha, you're absolutely fantastic. Love listening to you today. And of course, Rizwan to disappear. Yeah. But nevertheless, what I'm going to do is that rather than giving sort of like a keynote speech, I'm just going to ramble on about my thoughts on water and what Aeronero stands for. And because this is something that's really close to my heart. So all of my life, people who know me know that all of my life I've always been two things. I've been a musician and an environmentalist. And these two aspects of my life have defined everything that I've ever done and every single life decision that I've ever made. And today I'm going to speak a little bit about water. All of us know that that water is not only a critical resource and it's critical to our lives and to every single life form or every single species on this planet. But not only that, water is actually the essence of life itself. And it's a resource, or rather a precious resource, that we do not treat with enough respect and we constantly take for granted. And year after year, we're taking water even more for granted. And in the past, the paradigm or the rhetoric used to always be that, if you throw some garbage onto the road, it's going to go somewhere, or if you pollute the atmosphere, the pollution is just going to go somewhere, the wind is going to take it somewhere. Or if we pollute a river, the river is large enough to handle it and that pollution is just going to go somewhere. Or, if we turn on the faucet of our tap and water is overflowing, that's all right because there's always going to be an abundance of water. But it's only for the last few decades, maybe the last 30 or 40 years, that we've actually started understanding environmental consciousness, and we've started understanding that all of these so-called resources are not infinite. All of these are finite. If we constantly throw garbage out there, especially when it comes to plastics, which is non-biodegradable, but we call it disposable for some reason. So if we throw out all of these materials and all of this garbage, it's going to fill up somewhere. It's going to fill up a landfill, and it's going to affect us personally like it is affecting us right now. If you pollute our rivers, the rivers are going to get filled up. If we constantly extract water from the ground, that water is going to get depleted. So we now understand that things are absolutely finite. And but we just need to act on it. Now, I just give you a quick example. The first time I'd gone to Las Vegas was, I think, about 15 years ago. And I remember driving from the airport to my hotel. And I saw all of these amazing human-made water bodies, these large, human-made lakes and these large shallow water bodies and these waterfalls and these water fountains. And of course, they looked quite beautiful. Architecturally, they were quite amazing. But at the same time, the only thing that came to my mind was that, where is all this water coming from? This is obviously a desert, And then that is when I went back to my hotel, I started researching about Vegas, and I realized that the water actually comes from miles and miles away from the Colorado River, and it is actually pumped by these high volume and this high capacity and powerful pumps all the way to Vegas. And not only across long distances and miles of distance, but also over elevations, because Vegas is of a higher elevation than the river. So imagine the amount of environmental impact that it takes just to create these aesthetic water bodies over there. And these water bodies are really shallow, so the hot sun is going to ensure that this water is constantly evaporated and we lose out on the water, and the water is wasted. But hopefully Aeronero will bring back that water back into circulation through drinking water. And of course, water has got lots of significances in our lives. We all know sustainability, because every single species depends upon water for their sustenance, as I mentioned earlier. Water also has got great economic significance, simply because industries run on water. You have agriculture, farming, energy generation depends upon water. Then water also, the ecosystems depend upon water. We all know that there are multiple ecosystems on our planet. All those multiple ecosystems come together as one large ecosystem, and the delicate balance of nature needs to be constantly taken care of and restored many a times. And that is key to our survival as human beings. Like for example, we constantly talk about Save the Tiger. Save the Tiger is this huge campaign that all of us have heard of at some point in our life. And it's very important because obviously we need to remove the tiger from the endangered species list. But at the same time, Save the Tiger has not always been just about the tiger. Save the Tiger has been about pretty much the entire ecosystem, because the tiger is an apex predator. So if the tiger numbers go up, it's very obvious that the tiger has got enough herbivores to feed on. The herbivores have got enough foliage to feed on. And everything boils down to water, because the only way for the foliage to survive is to have groundwater, and groundwater moves upwards because even the herbivores require groundwater, even the tigers require groundwater. So if the tiger numbers go up, it means that the ecosystem is working. And as I said, everything comes down to water at the end of the day. Now, with all the problems that we face on our planet, and we face so many problems, environmental problems and social problems. Now, the environmental problems, all of us know, climate change, biggest existential threat that we've ever faced, the species extinction, deforestation, water pollution, air pollution, water scarcity. And I believe that with all of these problems, the biggest threat to us as the human species is the constant thought that we have that somebody else will make a difference. You know, we are waiting for governments, for intergovernmental bodies, for politicians, for leaders, for corporations to make a difference. When the truth is that the only way we can bring about meaningful change is if we actually change our own behaviors. We constantly talk about changing the world, but we so rarely talk about changing ourselves. And that's not because we are bad people or we're evil people. It's simply because we haven't empowered ourselves to believe that the small, tiny, incremental changes that we can make within our own lives actually matter. We feel that if I stop using single-use plastic, what difference will it make? Or if I save water, what difference will it make? And I believe that Aeronero is giving us that opportunity to be the change that we want to see in this world. Aeronero is giving us that opportunity to ensure that we are not exploiting this beautiful, precious resource of water, but we are actually adding on to it. Now, there are a few things that I do within my own life, as they say, in my own tiny capacity. There are a few changes that I've made in my life. I'm not going to get into all of them, but I'm going to get into one of them just so that we understand that sensitization to these problems become really important. Like, for example, one thing that I've given up in my life is fast fashion. Fast fashion is something that I absolutely do not subscribe to. Because the fast fashion industry is one of the most polluting industries on this planet. And, and fashion can be fashionable more than once. We have to do away with this paradigm of, that every single Instagram picture of us has to have a completely different costume and we cannot repeat our outfits. So in doing this, I've started a hashtag known as We Wear for Earth, which is basically hashtag We Wear and then numeric 4 and Earth. Thank you. So it's all about re-wearing our clothes and doubling down on it on social media, saying that I wore these clothes on more than one occasion. And, I'm doing this because I'm more responsible to the planet. This suit that you see me wearing, this suit, if you go onto my Instagram, you'll see it on at least 30 or 40 different events, because I believe in buying good quality clothes, but at the same time, I rewear them multiple times because I believe that the most expensive clothes that you will ever buy are the clothes that you wear only once. Am I right? Yeah. So, and the earth does not remember what you wore for the last party, but the earth definitely remembers how you treat it. Now, how does this relate to water? Now, I'm wearing a pair of cotton pants. This is supposed to be sustainable fashion, cotton pants. It's pure cotton and all of that stuff. But at the same time, if you go into the manufacturing process itself, if you think about it, and you don't start from the supermarket or from the clothing store or from the fashion store, you start right from the birth of this cotton pants. It takes about 15 cotton plants to actually create a pair of cotton pants. So large land usage, lots of water goes into watering those plants. It takes 150 days for a cotton plant to be ready for harvest. So that is 5 months of watering these plants, taking care of these plants. Then after that, you pluck these plants and you harvest them, and then after that you transfer them to a completely different country for processing, then a completely different country for manufacturing, and then it's spread all over the world for sales and for marketing. So it is said that the water footprint of a single pair of cotton, forget about the carbon footprint, but a water footprint for a single pair of cotton pants is approximately 6,000 liters of water. So it takes us 6,000 liters of water to go through all of those processes to actually manufacture a single pair of cotton pants. So What I'm trying to say is that we need to sensitize ourselves to our actions, because every action that we make has got consequences, not just on us, but on people all over the world. So every action of ours has got consequences, and we need to sensitize ourselves to that. So to conclude, I'd like to say that I'm absolutely inspired by Aeronero. As I said, that Aeronero is giving us an opportunity to be the change that we want to see in this world. It's giving us an opportunity to ensure that we are not mindlessly and mindlessly and without any thought of any repercussion. We are not exploiting our groundwater. We're not exploiting this precious resource, and instead, we're just looking up to the air to give us water, and the cleanest and the purest water, as we will demonstrate today. And so I think all of us need to support Aeronero on this journey and bring Aeronero into our own personal lives. Thank you so much.